Hi friends, my name is Chaitanya Patke and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to analyze the third day's play of the first test which is taking place at the Rajiv Gandhi International Cricket Stadium in Hyderabad between India and England, and it was a day which was completely dominated by England. Against all odds, they have stood, and many people actually predicted after the fall of Ben Stokes' wicket of Ravichandran Ashwin that India might ended up winning this test on the third day itself, and England might lose by an innings as well. But Oli Pope had other plans. He was ably supported by Ben Foakes as well. But the day belonged to Oli Pope, one of the most magnificent innings ever played by a visiting batsman in India. And the innings had everything. I will come to it. But this innings has kept England with more than a sniff. Although India remain as firm favourites, but England still might fancy their chances if miraculously their lead goes past 200 or 225. England currently lead by 126 runs on a deteriorating pitch. Tomorrow will be the fourth day's play, and if India has to wrap up this test match pretty quickly, they have to dismiss Oli Pope and the remaining four wickets. Rehan Ahmed also showed a good temperament, but we will come to that after a while. First of all, India started the day of at 421 for 7 in 110 overs. We could add just 15 runs. Unfortunate once again that Ravindra Jadeja missed out on 100. He was LBW to Joe Root. Similar to the fashion like Shrikar Bharat, but yeah, he deserved 100, and he is the third batsman who got out in the 80s. Jaiswal scored 80, KL Rahul scored 86, and Ravindra Jadeja scored 87. So none of them unfortunately could go on and score a well-deserved 100. Three of them, all of them deserved it, but that is. It is what it is. Akshar Patel also missed out on a well-deserved half century. He scored 44 of exactly 100 deliveries. He was cleaned up by a beauty by Rehan Ahmed. That was an excellent ball, and England team management will be hoping that he continues such form. Rehan Ahmed, I am saying, with the ball in the coming test. We have to remember that it is a 5-match test series, and each and every wicket to the youngster will give him confidence. Rehan Ahmed made his debut last year against Pakistan, and it was one heck of a debut. But the difference in class between India and Pakistan currently is too much, and he found out the realities in the first innings itself. But anyways, Joe Root was the pick of the English bowlers. He clean bowled Jasprit Bumrah as well. Jasprit Bumrah returned the favour few hours later. 29 overs, 5 maidens, 79 runs, 4 wickets for Joe Root, and Rehan Ahmed 24 overs, 4 maidens, 105 runs, 2 wickets. So Joe Root also bowled stump to stump. He knew his limitations. He actually has a 5-wicket haul from the previous tour in the second test match at the Narendra Modi Stadium. I think third or fourth test. I beg your pardon. He actually took a 5-wicket haul. That showed actually the quality of the pitch. Granted, was pretty low, but he still did the job, and he isn't playing as a frontline spinner. He is the frontline batsman. Although he couldn't contribute much, Jasprit Bumrah, as I said few seconds ago, took the revenge. England still finished with a formidable 316 for 6 in 77 overs, with Oli Pope 148 not out of 208 deliveries, 17 boundaries in his magnificent innings. Zach Crawley actually started pretty well, 31 of 33 deliveries, a massive 6, 4 fours as well. He must count himself very unlucky to miss out on what could have been at least an half century. Ravichandran Ashwin once again striking when Team India needed the most, with Rohit Sharma taking a simple catch. Ben Duckett actually smashed pretty good boundaries through the offside, especially the cut shot and the cover drives. But his stay was short as Jasprit Bumrah knocked him over with a pitch of a delivery. At 39, actually, he was plumb LBW. But Rohit Sharma discussed it with Kona Shrikar Bharat, and Shrikar Bharat actually advised against taking the review, with Jasprit Bumrah pretty miffed after showing the replay that the ball would have gone on to crash the leg stump. But anyways, he got his revenge 2 boundaries later. Ben Stokes was in a defensive mindset. We cannot blame him because he wanted to prolong the innings as long as possible to give England first of all the chance to reduce the deficit of the innings lead, and then if he was able to survive till the England had cleared off the deficit, then he would have, in my humble opinion, took a more attacking approach, which he always does. As we know that the world-class batsman Ben Stokes is, he has two gears. The first gear was evident. He tried to block everything and score of only the deliveries which were in his arc or some rubbish balls, but that didn't happen unfortunately. Ravichandran Ashwin round the wicket. As we know that the Ashwin's record against the left-handers is world class. The ball pitched on middle, hit the leg stump, and Ben Stokes was clearly bewildered. That was the quality of that dismissal. Joe Root was out to a stinging LBW by Jasprit Bumrah. Three balls previously, the balls were out swingers, and the final ball of the over suddenly it jacked back in, and Root had absolutely no answer. It was an LBW. Joe Root took the review, but it was umpire's call, and the disappointment on his face was pretty much evident after the dismissal. But after that, it looked England were 163 for 5 after Ben Stokes got bowled by Ravichandran Ashwin. But it was Oli Pope show, and Ben Fox actually ably supported him. 112 run partnership for the 6th wicket, and that is the partnership which has still kept alive England in this game. Excellent technique by Oli Pope. Now we will analyze Oli Pope's technique a bit. He was just going deep inside the crease, but he was staying low to score on the back foot, so he wasn't fidgety or didn't poke outside the off stump to the deliveries which were going to the wicket keeper. That is an excellent asset to have. Actually, I observed in the technical analysis of innings that his composure and calmness and ability in his technique isn't very seen in Asian batsmen as well. So all in all, a magnificent innings. He played the orthodox sweep as well as reverse sweep to fantastic extent. He got on top of the ball, and the one shot, Shanta basal lav tila, and the he got on top of the ball with actually when he was on 46 I beg your pardon, because the ball of Ravindra Jadeja actually spun, and it was going to Kona Shrikhar Bharat, at he was going to catch up until his shoulder, and it wasn't a sweepable ball, but Oli Pope smashed that one through short mid wicket for 4. I knew that this was going to be Oli Pope's day. A magnificent shot to pick up the 50, but after that the way Ben Fox complimented him as well was pretty much exciting to watch. They rotated the strike, converted the ones into twos, some unimaginative captaincy by the Indian skipper Rohit Sharma as well, because he left pretty much gaps open. But credit to Oli Pope and Ben Fox because they exploited those gaps pretty nicely. The reverse sweep which Oli Pope played was, I think, world class. It reminded me of Owen Morgan in his heyday. He got on top of to the ball, rolled his wrists pretty nicely, and there were some instances where there was a top edge, but luckily the ball fell well short of the fielder in case of Oli Pope and talking. But for, as they say, fortune favors the brave, and he rotated the strike pretty well as well, and he left the balls with confidence, which isn't seen in Sena country's batsman, despite the fact that he saw actually to the dismissal of Johnny Bairstow at the non-striker's end, where he was cleaned up by Ravindra Jadeja. Actually, despite the fact that Johnny Bairstow scored only 6 runs, he looked pretty good at the crease, pretty assured in his defense, but that one leave actually undid all the good work. Otherwise, Johnny Bairstow also could have played pretty well. All in all, a magnificent innings by Oli Pope. He's still there, and I have to compliment his hunger. I thought after getting his 100, he would just calm down or play some rash strokes, but he actually has a terrific arsenal in. His repertoire is magnificent, and he smashed actually a shot like Dil Scoop to Ravindra Jadeja not once but twice, and that ball went for 4 on a turning track. Third day's pitch when the back is against the wall, that has to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest innings ever played by an English batsman or the batsman from Sena country, that is South Africa, England, New Zealand or Australia, coming to India and playing that. The one innings which stood out in my mind was Kevin Peterson's 186 at the Wankhede Stadium in 2012, which enabled India for their first series win after 28 years. But after that, it was I didn't see any innings of quality from either of the visiting batsmen for the past 12 years, but Oli Pope surely at least equals the 186 at Wankhede which Kevin Peterson scored, in my humble opinion. We shouldn't forget Ben Fox as well. He scored 31 of 84 deliveries, but he was an able partner. 2 boundaries in his innings, but he kept rotating the strike pretty nicely, which actually took off the pressure of Oli Pope and gave Pope the confidence to play a shot on his own. Unfortunate that Fox missed out. He also deserved a half century, He was cleaned up by a beauty though by Akshar Patel. Rehan Ahmed hit a couple of boundaries towards the end. 16 of 31 deliveries, he is not out. Indian bowlers need to be a little bit more disciplined. 22 extras by them. India finished with 300. England finished with 316 for 6, and they are leading by 126 runs. We will analyze the bowling figures of Indian bowlers. Jasprit Bumrah was excellent in the morning, accounting for the wicket of Ben Duckett coming round the wicket, clattered his off stump. And excellent in swinger to Joe Root. Ravichandran Ashwin in 21 overs bowled 3 maidens, gave away 93 runs, took 2 wickets. His economy rate could have been better, but he bowled well. Akshar Patel in 15 overs went for plenty. He gave 69 runs, but took the solitary wicket of Ben Foakes when it was looking that both Foakes as well as Oli Pope will take the game away from the Indians. Ravindra Jadeja in 26 over gave away 101 runs and took 1 wicket. And Siraj actually didn't bowl pretty much because this pitch didn't require his services. No harm in that. 3 overs, 8 runs, no wicket. So all in all, it is a pretty enticing test match, I would say. But still, India are firmly favourites. Just 126 England lead by 2 whole days to go, and it will be interesting to see what is the approach of Oli Pope tomorrow. Will he continue to trust the defenses of Rehan Ahmed, or he will launch an assault himself tomorrow to maximize England's runs on this sort of a wicket? As we know, in my humble opinion, if England had 250, they have some chances of victory. But if the lead goes past 200, you never know, because it is a varying wicket. Fourth innings on an Indian pitch who might be an upset, but that looks very far-fetched till now, despite Oli Pope's best effort. So, how did you like my analysis of the third display of the first test? Please tell me in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon for further notifications. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, everyone, bye. And I humbly request to you all once again, please subscribe. Thank you.